Dirt track racing, running through my blood every week. I'm broke, but I can't give it up. Play on my boots, engine screaming loud, living for the lap when the green goes down. Packing that track in lap after lap, meeting in the pits, rules laid out flat. Hot laps flying, just setting the tone. Qualify quick or you're headed home. Crew in the trailer, wrenches in.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to another episode of the Cohen Shaw Micro Podcast. We're hot off the Deming Speedway Friday night for July 10th edition of the Dave Key Classic First Annual, and we have plenty of highlights thanks to Fast 4 Media. Obviously, a different studio here. We're going to be messing around with those a little differently from here. Could see some different venues, could see some different backgrounds, but nonetheless, experimenting here. And first up, before we get to those junior sprint highlights for the first main event of the night of the Dave Key Classic, we're going to check out some thrills and spills, some exciting moments coming from heat race and B-main action, thanks to Fast 4 Media.
Lights are out. 2 by 2 to the chalk line. Green flag will wave and we're underway. Look out, contact between Baker and Bracy. One upside down. It's Courtney Baker's 16 car.
Sharp from the veteran there as Knapp fades back a little bit. Here comes Dunkirk and up to the top of the 79. We got one fencing it in turn 4. It's Paul. Cameron Paul's heat race went from
Mail into 3 and 4, trying to build the run. He's going to go underneath Yockey, sends the move, almost making contact, able to jump on the binders. Yockey slams the door shut on Pereira. Pereira right back to the top side. Here comes Tristan Thomas in the hunt. 3 more times around. Thomas has a run down the back straightaway, almost making contact. Tristan Thomas off of turn 4 at the line. Pereira still has it, but Thomas has the momentum. Battling through 1 and 2. Yockey slides up. Crossover move by Thomas. Yockey slams on the brakes. Thomas has the lead. White flag is out. Yockey takes the lead right back. 3-car battle, 2 moving on. Thomas into the wall. Here comes Pereira. Yockey gonna go to the bottom. Pereira follows in. Short slider by Pereira, almost making contact at the line. It's Thomas who gets second. What a battle between Stan Yockey, Tristan Thomas, and Dalton Pereira. But it is Stan Yockey and Tristan Thomas moving on. And it's Dash Dunkirk and Tank Chorney rounding out the top 5.
Going to lead off with the junior sprint main event. A lot of action. Took a long time to get the main event started. However, once they got going, they got smoothed out, and it was a great race for most of the top 5 for sure. We got highlights with Chase Danielson on the call.
Not sure if that one's gonna stick. Yellow lights will come up. Look out, one upside down. It's the 15 of KSM. Upside down, it's Thor Lupartis's 27T. He wanted. Floats through the first 2 corners. Koldishnu able to pull away, but here's the battle for third. Jace Coates, Kason Sargent. Sargent down to the inside off of turn 4. They pull even. Jace Coates gonna take the line away from Sargent. Looking back up. Luke Coates all over the back of Dishnu for the lead. Luke Coates trying everything he can to get around Dishnu now. Dishnu playing phenomenal defense. At the line, it's going to be 8 to go. Coates, once again, gets the run off of turn 2 down the back straightaway. Trying to find something off the exit of both corners. Here's the move off of turn 2. Luke Coates to the inside, can't make it happen that time by Koldishnu. Slams the door shut. Luke Coates trying to gather it back 6 more times around Deming Speedway. Back between Sargent and Fisher now. Sargent goes a little wide through the corner. Here comes Lucas Fisher. Sargent gonna close the door. 4 more circuits around Deming Speedway. Hourglass is winding down for Luke Coates. Can he find one more run at Koldishnu? They'll be in the lap traffic now. Oakland Theobald's the first lap car. Dishnu will encounter that allowed Luke Coates to the lap car. Finds a run down the back straightaway. There's Askvig and Holden right in front of Dishnu. White flag is out. Luke Coates all over the back of Koldishnu now. What does he do? Nearly to the inside of Dishnu now to the back bumper. Into 3 and 4 for the final time. Koldishnu gonna pick up the Dave Key Classic win. Luke Coates second, Kaysen Sargent in third, Jace Coates
Had a
fourth.
great main event right there. Koldishnu picking up his second win of the season in the Capstone Plastering Junior Sprint Division. Great battle between Luke Coates and the 54, last race winner, the 49 Kaysen Sargent, and the 75J Jace Coates, as well as Lucas Fisher and the 73. Those are your top 5 drivers. Austin Harris ran 6th in the 37. 15G Giovanni Androlini ran 7th. The 50D of Dane Sturmer, and then the 77T Titus Dagan, and the 66W Wyatt Dart rounding out the top 10. Dayton Ellis was the biggest mover, +4 in that Capstone Plastering Junior Sprint main event. Little and Empey continuing off from last Friday. They go green. Empey rolls the bottom, gets up onto the berm. Little around the outside will take the lead down the backstretch and park it on the nose of Empey to lead lap number 1. Wiersma right behind them. Further back in the field on lap 2, Cannon side by side with the 21, it looks like. Make that the 12, as the bottom line, pretty preferred line at the Deming Speedway for restricted main event.
Looking underneath Hoppy down to the bottom to take the line away. Hilder trying to find a run and get back up.
Cannon slips off the bottom. Here comes the 21 to get by him.
Battle for 5th between Hoppy and Hilder now. Hoppy right back to the Fawns. Through 1 and 2 here. Hudson Johnson approaching lap traffic now. Mary Jane Merrill will be the first car he will encounter. Empey has kept him in his sights all.
Hiller and Hill mixing it up there for a brief moment. Hill has the upper hand at the moment in the 00. 9 laps to go, entering traffic for your leaders as Empey working on the 99 car to get by 1 lap car. He did so there into turn 3. No lap traffic between him and Little, as Little tried to get by restricted B main winner Charlotte Martella. And Little took a peek to the inside, but not able to make the move. Enough to get Martella off the bottom, however, but not enough to make the momentum into turn number 1. That allowed Empey to close in just a hair, but then a slip up out of turn 2 lost some ground. Little trying to experiment to the top side to get by Martella, can't do so. Wiersma under pressure from Johnson as the laps continue to wind down. Wiersma nearly gets into the back of the lap car, the 16. Lap traffic was pretty tough here as the restricted main going green to checkered. No cautions. Johnson to the inside. He'll make the move out of turn 4 to get by Wiersma. That's for the 3rd spot. Multiple lap cars between 3rd and 2nd, however.
Struggling to get around Martella now. Here comes Dayton Empey.
Little still could not get by Martella. Knows that the bottom groove was the way to go, so not too worried with Empey behind him, as they got 2 laps to go that time by. Empey keeps closing the gap and makes a bobble and loses ground a little. White flag waves there. Hudson Little just going to follow Martella through 3 and 4. Last Friday got his first win, and he's going to back-to-back it here for the Dave Key Classic in the restricted main event. Main event there for the Doyle Guffey Rally Auto 600 Restricted Division. Hudson Little goes back-to-back after picking up his first win last Friday. Goes back-to-back and picks up the win in the 23H. Dayton Empey, another podium run in the 3D. 27 Hudson Johnson +3 for the youngster. 7W Drake Wiersma ran 4th. 15 AU Zach Hilder from Brisbane, Australia, rounding out your top 5. 21M Maddie Hoppy. And then the 12, Samantha Frazier. 21A of Hayden Adams. The 40R Ryan Cannon. And the 00 of Owen Hill, rounding out your top 10.
We're underway for the 1200 main.
Next was the Shots to Go Espresso 1200 division. Vaughn and Mitchell picking up where they left off last week before Vaughn had his issues. Great start for Vaughn, going to roll the bottom. Mitchell going top side, keeping pace with him. Further back in the field, a couple of 10 cars mixing it up behind Dakota Drake. Derek Holmwood piloting one of those 10 machines this week, as Mitchell pounded the wall through 1 and 2, get a good run, but then Vaughn, too good on the bottom. Mixes it up, goes to the top in 3 and 4. Those two drivers been the ones to beat in the 1200 division. Is contact, and that causes a jam up one of the Lemley cars around, and collects one more, the 22. Closes the gap there. Washes up.
So Vaughn with the counter punch getting to the high groove, and it was a good one for him over halfway. 17 down, 13 to go. Best battle.
Folks fighting for the top side in this 1200 feature. Nate Vaughn going back and forth between the top and the bottom. 2 laps to go here. Vaughn up top, ripping the boards at the Deming Speedway. Continues on to the white flag. And after the issues last Friday, he got him dialed in and goes green to checkered, leading all 30 laps in the Shots to Go Espresso 1200 division. Again, Nate Vaughn overcoming his issues last Friday to pick up the victory in the Shots to Go Espresso 1200s. Kyle Mitchell paced him in the 10M, ultimately running in the runner-up spot. Dakota Drake rounding out the podium in the 22D. Jared Alseth ran 8th. Derek Holmwood, a past Golden Driller winner in the Tulsa Shootout in Lightning Sprint 1200 competition, rounded out the top 5 in the number 10. Your top 5 finishing where they started. Alex Lewis was the hard charger, went 10th to 6th in the number 5. Jaden Thomas in the 6H ran 7th. Peyton Drake in the 22 ran 8th. The 30 of Terry Lewis and the 10J Tyson Lemley rounding out the top 10 of the 12-car Shots to Go Espresso 1200 main event. That leads us into the finale for the Dave Key Classic, the Speed March 600s, where Caleb Hart had the call.
Peterson and Wickard lead him into turn number 3. And out of corner number 4, the Dave Key Classic starts now. Green flag. Peterson sticks the low groove coming through 1 and 2. Peterson, who was the early race leader last week, is going to have to do it again. Watch them as they grab for gears coming off the corner. We're green. Peterson clear down the straightaway into the corner, and whatever lane he wants, he'll take the bottom once again and roll down the back straightaway as everybody makes it through 1 and 2 safe. Can they do the same in 3 and 4? Yes, they can. Peterson out to your lead on lap number 1 of the Dave Key Classic. It'll be Wickard up around the high groove, giving chase. Key down around the bottom in the 63 as Levi Hillier's made good progress already. Hillier, who started 8th, is working for 4th year. 5th for the time being. He was underneath Torgerson before Torgerson got downstairs to close the door. And Cash Levenberg right there to pressure Hillier all around for that 5th position. 4 in, 26 to go. 1,200 to win here tonight at the Key. Side-by-side action all throughout the back of the field. As there's Colton Key in the 63, working the low side. Here on the 14 of Reese Wickard, the battle for second is on. Down into turn number 3. Key down low, Wickard up high. Both of them giving each other some space for now. Wickard trying to keep the wick lit up and around the top. Key might have thought about sliding there, but came up just short. This time, does he go all the way through? He does not. You can see he might have the car speed if he tries it to do it. But right now, Wickard has been just good enough getting the back end of that car pointed around and making a very long straightaway to retain his speed. This time, Wickard came down to try to break the momentum of Colton Key. Key wheel to wheel with him on the back straightaway. Reese Wickard will seat the spot. Colton Key has got second at the race for his namesake. Your leader, Jared Peterson's been on the low side. He'll continue to run the bottom with 10 in, 20 to go. He is approaching traffic. Now he is not. Yellow flag out in front of the field. Braden Danielson up against the Kaiser aluminum wheels sign and the Motor Oil Supply sign. He doesn't. Under fire from Torgerson for the third spot. Levi Hillier jumps up to the high groove in 1 and 2. We'll monitor Levi coming through. Wickard trying to fend off Torgerson here. Peterson expanding his lead again. Really good through 1 and 2 is Jared. More evenly matched in 3 and 4 are he and Key. That Key might even be better through 3 and 4. It looks like the ground Jared makes in 1 and 2. Colton brings back to him through those turns. 14 in, 16 to go. Action in your top 10. Fairly limited until Cody Key goes and runs the wall. Key's gonna drop about 7 to 8 spots as he went and scraped the wall off in turn number 4. Caution on the racetrack, it is Key. So Key, who got up around the top of turn 3. Levi Hillier is your top 5. Make it 2 through 5, really battling it out. Peterson getting away in the 21. Reese Wickard down low, tends to like to run the high side of this racetrack, but exercising some patience in chasing Colton Key. Torgerson up high, trying to make a run, but he has got Hillier down low. Levi Hillier working the low groove. And on Torgerson, can Torgerson keep him off? Levi right up even with him at the apex of 1 and 2, but Torgerson with momentum off the high side. Colton Key getting away from Reese Wickard. There's Hillier again, showing the nose to Torgerson for 4th. Torgerson way up racetrack. That top is a long ways around in 3 and 4. Hillier staying committed to the bottom. Gap is growing between 2nd and 3rd. Peterson, your race leader, coming into Danielson and Yockey, racing for position. Peterson will pass Yockey, gets underneath, shows the wheel to Danielson, makes the pass coming out of 2, and with coming in on 4 to go, clean air for Jared Peterson. Colton Key has gotten to the inside of Yockey, he'll make the pass. Torgerson has taken 3rd from Wickard around the high groove. So we're down to 2 to go, your race leader. 2 cars racing half a straightaway ahead of him. Colton Key with 1 slower car to take out. He does. But we're down to the white flag. 1 more lap before Clay Cup week starts. But tonight, the Dave Key Classic goes to the 4-time Clay Cup champion. Jared Peterson takes the win. Give 2nd to Colton Key, give 3rd to Torgerson, 4th goes to Wickard, 5th to Levi Hillier.
Pretty exciting stuff there to lead into this week's Clay Cup. Defending champion, the 21P, Jared Peterson, back to victory lane on multiple occasions this year. And redemption after last Friday's mishap. Colton Key ran 2nd. A solid performance for his grandfather's event. 88T, Austin Torgerson, a solid battle there between him and Reese Wickard, ultimately Torgerson getting the final podium spot. Reese Wickard ran 4th, and then 8th to 5th for the 24L Levi Hillier to round out your top 5. 21X, Cash Levenberg, a great battle to finish 6th. Cooper Anderson ran 7th in the number 2. Familiar face TJ Smith went 12th to 8th in the 5S, another Salmon Motorsports entry. And the 14C Carson Guffrey with the 21J Clayton Jalakis rounding out the top 10. Tristan Thomas and Kyle Mitchell both went +8 in that main event for the Speedmart 600 main event for the Dave Key Classic, leading into this week's Clay Cup event. Absolutely, it is Clay Cup week here. Well, actually in Deming, Washington, not here in the studio as you overlook Plaza Park Raceway. But nonetheless, going to have an exciting episode coming up. Going to release that tomorrow. A preview of the Clay Cup, some of the favorites, some of the dark horses, if you will, and definitely going to be putting my foot in the mouth. But we're going to have some people not make that list. And if you don't make that list or we don't call you out, be sure to use that as motivation to prove me wrong. And we'll talk about it next week. And after the Clay Cup is all said and done, maybe you surprised us and we'll be talking about you the week after. And who knows, maybe you'll be one of the first guests on this show for the Cohen Shaw Micro Podcast. Well, that'll do it here for episode number 4 now, as the Dave Key Classic is wrapped up. And now Thursday night leads into Friday and Saturday for the Clay Cup Nationals. So be sure to tune in tomorrow when we release that episode preview of the Clay Cup. Some past champions, some people to look out for, some dark horses, and some of the favorites, both from the Pacific Northwest and California. Be sure to tune in then. Until then, this is Cohen Shaw signing off, Cohen Shaw Micro Podcast. We'll see you later.